No.
Yes.
Now it's just clear my throat.
Mic check, just so when.
You said something about graduation is okay.
How's everyone?
I did?
Yeah, you're like, I just said it like graduation.
Yeah, for sure.
It's live.
It's like 2 a.m.
My goodness.
I'll just write down finishing the minutes.
This is,
I'm the same.
Where's the backup?
In another sorority presentation.
yeah, because right now, that's how.
I don't have the.
Yeah, I know,
I'm
that's
not
how
on
it
Teams.
shows right now.
You're fine.
Thanks.
What sorority?
Can we get like how? I was trying for a minute. So I turned it from like numbers, from bullet points to numbers. It's like, why not? It's like, I can use whatever format I want.
I thought you were giving bulk
I
answer.
can use whatever format I want.
I thought you were giving bulk.
I was until I flew at 7 in the morning.
For what?
I've been up since 6:20.
Oh, the scholarship, yes.
You got that email that I
It's
copied
confirmed.
all of you. No, I sent it.
I was gonna take a nap in that time.
Start the photo shoot till 3:40.
Well, looks like Marco Bagni
Okay,
drinking.
do I have to let Lenny know?
I sent you an email.
I got Chipotle out of the deal though.
Okay, I would do that too.
It's
He
October
didn't give me
16th.
I bought it myself.
So not the Wednesday
still
after,
got it.
the Wednesday after.
Yeah. I'm just gonna read.
I like Cordova's better though.
Debate.
Yeah.
That's why you would fly in
I'll
here
just
and I
email
was so
Lenny.
it was unbelievable.
But this is what I'm sending you guys.
Yeah. Where's VPJ? Coming.
Oh, it's
Dude,
gonna be.
Evan and Keith.
Evan was
The
on
meeting's
Zoom
gonna be
today.
from 3 to 3:45. We'll start the photo shoot at 3:45. Might go to 4 p.m.
It's a
That's when we might
2016
start
presidential
late.
But we'll try to
Hillary
keep it
Clinton.
within 15
Okay,
minutes.
so it'll
Because it
be,
doesn't
so it'll
take
be
long.
at 3.
Cruise.
3:45.
Correct. Correct.
I'll just email Lenny.
CRUSE.
E is
Oh, I
from
know.
3 to 3:45.
Remember we watched the video?
Okay. And then is it gonna be here?
It's still be at.
Wow, you would know this condition
Yeah,
affected.
I'm
super
thinking
rich.
3 different places.
Condition
One is
affected
gonna be in the
super rich.
building, yes, just down. You know the
There it is.
stairs, the main CSU stairs, these ones.
Yes, yes.
They're really good and the lighting will be perfect and I was thinking
Affluenza.
hot. Yep, that's the hot one.
Here you go. I didn't know.
Where the piano is, girl.
Oh, down.
Yeah.
Tyler's definitely sick. It's not his throat.
And we can
I know that
the
because it's
stairs,
6
because we took photos the last time and they were something in there and hot.
Hello.
And this will be like a last resort.
Really?
No, I don't trust that orange stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put like location TBD.
And
Yep.
we'll just call you in.
I'll communicate about that.
Authorized personnel.
Yeah, I'll just say for right now TBD until, I'm not starting this down, so it's less for me to
Not
remember.
move tables.
Yep, that's okay.
Fair.
Christ.
Oh,
Charlie. Charlie.
Tomorrow at 8:15.
Okay.
give me a second.
I have an hour and a half drive after this.
Oh, yeah, you're going back.
It's just gonna be in the student government.
You're going with Ashley? She said you're not going.
Yeah.
She said she was gonna go like.
I talked to them all about the DIY.
He's lying to you.
She told me that at lunch.
She's lying to you.
He'll be on Zoom.
Tell Evan I'll miss up.
You can just text him yourself.
Oh, true, very true.
What is your?
This is the first one.
Nobody else, nobody else.
I've had like half a
I know, 'cause I
Chipotle
made
bowl
it so I
today.
can. She's talking about that. Walmart.
It's 401.
It is 4:01 PM, so I'm calling this meeting to order. And then we're gonna start with roll call. Senator Hart. Senator Franzen.
Here.
Senator Balogun. Is that wrong? I'm so sorry. Senator Schwartzendruber.
Here.
Senator Emke. He's
trying to get on Zoom.
Okay.
It's on the agenda.
Senator Panthy.
Here.
Senator Bugney. Senator Maega.
Here.
Senator Karki. Senator Mpanga.
On Zoom.
Here.
Senator Diedrich.
Here.
Senator Smith. Senator Speltz. Senator Emlyn. Senator Moore.
Here.
Senator Maba.
Present.
Senator Parek. Senator Karki.
Here.
Senator Riggle.
There. It's Friday.
Senator Zelmer.
Here.
Senator Robertson. Senator Hillstead.
Here.
I'm here. President Narala.
Present.
Vice President Jay.
Present.
Alrighty, we have quorum.
I am also.
Yes.
That's recorded. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, now we'll go into the approval of the consent agenda. Is there any amendments to the consent agenda? President Narala.
Adding Sydney Hawkins Elections Commission, Milan Ponti student allocations, Salome Gabrasaki, to Health Services Fee Advisory, Megdalawit Zergo, Health Services Fee Advisory, Meklit Naizigi to Health Services Fee Advisory.
Any other amendments to the consent agenda? Okay, if not, is there any dissent to the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Is there a second? Second, Senator Selmer. Is there any dissent to it? Seeing none, the consent agenda is approved. Alrighty, moving on. We have nothing from SAC, no executive actions. So we do have a presentation by Alpha Sigma Alpha. If there's anyone here to present for Alpha Sigma Alpha, yes. I'm gonna go there to the podium, yeah. Just 1 minute while we pull it up.
So hi, my name's Haley. I'm a senior on campus, but I'm also the VP of Communications for Alpha Sigma Alpha. And sorry, so a little bit of history. We were founded on November 15th, 1901, so we're over 100 years old. And we were founded in Farmville, Virginia. We have 5 founders, Virginia, Juliet, Calva, Louisa, and Mary. We were established at the Mankato State University on November 4th, 1995. That's when we celebrate our Founders Day here on campus. Next year, we'll be celebrating 30 years. So Alpha Sigma Alpha's nickname is ASA, and that's what I will refer to as known because Alpha Sigma is kind of a mouthful. So we have 28 members. Our motto is to aspire, seek, attain. Our mascot is a ladybug. Her name's Dot. We have 5 philanthropies. Last spring, we achieved 329 hours of community service as a chapter, and last fall, we achieved 459 hours of community service as a chapter. So here are our 5 philanthropies, so I'll get into some of them. So Girls on the Run is a program that we partner with that helps girls. And I was actually lucky enough to be a running buddy, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. So if anybody's ever interested in that, you should totally try doing that. It's one of my favorite things to do. We also do polar plunge for the Special Olympics, which is also really fun. This is from our last time we did it. We also do Adopt a Highway each semester, where we take some trash bags and we clean up the highway. We also do ASA Foundation and Dinner for Heroes. So ASA Foundation basically is a scholarship program for members of ASA. And then we also do Dinner for Heroes, where we collect a bunch of food and gift cards and bring it to we basically just bring like food to like firefighters and stuff like that. And one of the ways we raise money for that is through Pie Sister, and that's a picture of my friend Sydney there, who just got pied in the face. So we're also very heavy with leadership and campus involvement. So you know me, but we also have Camille, who's also on student government. We have a couple girls on PhD, which is the the sorority, like, how to explain it? They oversee sororities stuff on campus. We also have members on the student events team, so if you had fun at bingo or planning on going to family day, one of our girls was running both of those events. We had a member who she last year was the vice president of ISA. We also have members in Delta Sigma Chi, multiple honor societies. We have one girl who is the treasurer, or no, she's the secretary for RHA. And we also have one girl who is from the Reporter. If you like to hang out with us, we have tote bag painting on the 14th from 7 to 9, Just Dance on the 16th from 5 to 8, and vision boards on the 22nd from 6 to 10. And thanks for listening to me talk.
Were there any questions for Alpha Sigma Alpha? Senator Diedrich.
So you mentioned the date of the events, but where will those events be held?
I can get you more information after the meeting. I'm not entirely sure.
Any other questions? Alrighty, seeing none, thank you. Alrighty, so then next up we have open forum. Is there anyone here for open forum? Yes, Mark.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? All right.
Here.
My name is Mark Constantine. I'm the director of the Student Union and Student Activities, and I haven't said hello to the student government this year. It's the first time I've said hello to everybody, since we have some new senators on board. You see this guy sitting in the background at every meeting. I too try to come to every meeting along the way. we're responsible for the operations of the building, the CSU, and then also John's team, the student activities team, which is the programming branch of things. So we'd like to make sure you as students know that the CSU is your home away from home. I always like to let you know that. If there's anything at all that's happening in the building, that give us some feedback, anything we can do better, anything we can collaborate on. You have a contact in me, so I can help you out along the way. My office is in CSU 220, which is down in the corner down here along the way. The other thing I just let you know that I do work with two pretty important groups with the student government, the Student Allocations Committee and the Student Union Board. So you'll see I advise with Tricia Schwartz, our business manager, the Student Allocations Committee. We work with that committee very closely on educating them and teaching them what goes on. And then we'll be here to assist them when they make the presentation to this group, recommending a budget to you in the spring semester. The Student Union Board is really our student voice, the student union, my student voice, to be able to give us good information about the building. We bounce things off of them when it comes to construction or different things happening in the building, maybe share some different designs and colors with them if we're looking at carpet. So students are involved in the process and those things too. And that group does play a very important role when it comes to the budget as well. The Student Union Board Chair and Vice Chair will be presenting the budget to all of you when it comes down to the Student Union budget as well, the CSU budget, excuse me. So I just really want to say hello, especially to the new folks. I do know a lot of people around the room, and I look forward to working with some of you I don't know as well. But my door is always open. We're here to help you any way we can, and I'll stand for any questions you might have.
Any questions for Mark? Any questions? Thank you. Anyone else here for open forum? Yes, Todd.
I can't be outdone by Mark Constantine, so my name is Todd Finkston. I'm the Director of Campus Recreation, and I think I've shown up to all of your meetings this fall, and for good reason, because you support campus recreation very strongly through your student activity fees. So campus recreation includes open recreation, just general use of our indoor and outdoor facilities, intramural sports, sport clubs, fitness activities, so group exercise classes, Maverick Adventures. Sam Steiger shows up often, talks about Maverick Adventures and events that are coming up. But I thought I'd just stop in and, well, the Sports Dome is the other piece of it. Alex Schmitz oversees that. I'm also the assistant golf coach, so I travel a lot with both MSU men's and women's golf teams. But I thought it'd be a good idea that I just stop by and say, hey, here I am. And if you have any questions about any of our facilities and programs and access to those facilities, I'm here for you. So I stand for questions.
Any questions? Doesn't look like any.
Perfect. Thank you.
Is there anyone else here for open forum? Anyone else? Alrighty, seeing none, we are going to move into officer reports, and then I'm going to yield to President Narala.
Awesome. Hello, folks. Homecoming weeks this week. It's looking really exciting. The weather's looking really positive. Fingers crossed we'll have a bonfire this year. I haven't been able to see one since I've been here. It's been canceled, but fingers crossed we're looking at a really good weather, so hopefully we'll get to see the bonfire. There's parade on Saturday, and I'll have a sign-up sheet going around. We'll be right at the front of the parade, and I hope to see all of you there at the parade. Lineup starts at 9:30, and I have the sign-up sheet going around from over here. Right after parade, we do have Pancake with the President at the mall, tailgating right before the football game. So I hope you all attend, show your Maverick spirit this weekend. Speaker Youngberg and I met with City and University Affairs Committee and had some talks with representatives from South Central, Bethany, City of Mankato. It looks like we aren't the only student senate that's looking at a really positive number this year. All of them are looking at really good representations in their student governments. They had their homecoming last weekend, including the East and West high schools that had their homecoming last weekend. We had some discussions we were able to facilitate some discussions that were going on in student affairs. But we are awaiting some more discussions, feedbacks as we facilitate those conversations. But so far, we're looking at a really good positive response from that committee. Vice President Jay and I met with President Inch earlier this week. And looking ahead into this upcoming week, we have meet and confer with the President's Cabinet tomorrow actually. Alumni are on campus, and so we have fall alumni board meeting on Friday that I'll be attending. I'll be able to share some exciting projects that you guys are working on, and hopefully we'll have awarded the September Senator of the Month by next week. With midterms that are coming up, student government is looking into sending an all student email and an all faculty email. That'll be pretty new from student government. We'll be able to share what the students want to faculty members directly. We're also looking at highlighting some resources from CETL, academic affairs resources that include MathPass, Tutoring Center, some resources from Counseling Center, Food Pantry, all of those accumulated into the all student email that we're looking at sending out sometime next week. That's all that I have, and I stand for questions.
Any questions for President Nurala? Alrighty, seeing none, I'm going to yield to Vice President Jay.
Hi guys, welcome back. This is week 6, 5, 6. Oh my goodness, crazy. Few updates on some vacancies. We have had 2 resignations in the last week. One of them being a senator from the College of Allied Health and Nursing, another being off campus. So, update on vacancies. We have 2 vacancies open for the College of Allied Health and Nursing, 1 for College of Business, 1 for College of CSET, 1 for grad studies, 1 on campus, 1 off campus. We have had a few people apply for those. Off campus election and Allied Health and Nursing election will start next week, as we need 2 weeks. And those both happened last week, so those will start next week if people are interested. Grad studies and off campus will happen next week. Allied Health and Nursing will happen in 2 weeks because that one was just announced this week. So, everything else is open right now. Any questions there before I move on to my next point?
Any questions?
Okay, and then the last thing I have, we have office decorating tonight. So because of homecoming, every office can decorate on campus. There's a huge competition for it. We haven't won in the last couple of years. So we have kind of gone all out on decorations this year, and we haven't put anything up, so nobody knows what we're doing because it's all due tomorrow. So that's why we're doing it tonight after Senate. And John is looking at me and laughing because he had no idea. So I have all the decorations. I just need people to help me put everything up. And it is happening right after Senate tonight, whoever is available. If not, totally okay. But just head down to the student government office and we get to start decorating, and I am so excited.
President Nurala.
Speaker Youngberg, does this count as office hours?
If you actively help, yes.
If you actively.
Yes. And so can the homecoming parade. Senator Riggle.
How long do you think we'll be here?
Like, if we have more than like 2 people, like half an hour or less. Okay. Shouldn't be anything crazy if we have like people come help. Otherwise, I'd be here for like 3 hours by myself, which I'm willing to do, but yeah. And that's all I have. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, it's my turn. So thank you all for your patience while I've been adjusting to this new role. Last night I got the agenda out a little late just because we're trying to figure out how exactly that works. This next time I will make sure to BCC all the senators because that's something I forgot to do. But you'll notice in if you go into Teams and under the Senate channel and under files, I created some new files there, some new folders. So first, like right off the bat, when you go into files, there are 2 new colored folders, a red folder and then like a light red folder. That'll be for senator reports, which you should all take a look at any documents in there. There's a spot for you to upload your written report. And then also the schedule. So within the senator report schedule, you can see the dates that you have signed up for. If your name is highlighted yellow, that means you have not signed up to give a report. And remember, you do need to give 2 reports. So if you only have 1 date down, make sure you put the other date in there as well. And you should all have access to that document. And then there's also another folder for office hour documents. So for example, Senator Hillstead has said that he's going to have office hours from 1 to 2 p.m. every Wednesday. So that's in another document that's like current standing office hours. So that means you're going to be in the office like every week at that day from that time, which that also works. And then there's an office hour tracker schedule. They're in 2-week increments. So as long as you get your like hours in and put it in that tracker, that should work. So that's all in that folder. So you should all have access to that. And then also under the 90-second Senate meeting documents, I created 2 folders, an agendas folder and then a speaker's correspondence folder. Under agendas, I have all the months for fall semester. So you'll be able to see any agendas for that month as well as any corresponding documents for those meetings. So I think the presentation from Alpha Sigma Alpha, that was not uploaded in there yet, but I will make sure to upload it into the correct thing. Yes, it was uploaded into October. Sorry, I thought it was September still. And then speakers correspondence, once we get all of those compiled, then I'll also put that there. So that's basically the previous week's minutes. So you should have access to all that information. I just want to make sure that this is like a seemingly easy transition and you can find documents wherever you might need to find them. So to just copy off of President Rala, was at the city and university meeting. It was cool figuring out what they're all up to. And then also Bethany, so BLC, they also want to try to get their students involved in coming to the candidate fair happening in about less than a month. So we're trying to get students from all the other campuses they're interested in coming. So yeah, that's all that I really have. Any questions for me?
Point of clarification for my office hours, it depends on if I fly or not for aviation. That's still tentative, but
Yeah, it's okay.
just point of clarification for that.
Any questions for me? Senator Diedrich.
For current standing office hours, does every senator need to have current standing office hours? Or if you are fulfilling your office hour requirements by attending committees and doing other stuff on a regular basis, is that sufficient?
Yes, so like the parade, office decorating, tabling that we've done in the past, like those type of events, that all will count for office hours. For those who don't have the opportunity to like table or go to the parade, they can have standing office hours. President Rala.
You can have all of those recorded in that Excel sheet. All of those standing ones will go into the Word document.
Any other questions? Alrighty, seeing none, then we will move into the next part of our agenda, which is Dean of the Day, which is Roy Kammer?
You got it.
Perfect. The podium is all yours.
Very good.
Perfect. Well, happy homecoming week, everyone. It's good to be here, and thanks for taking a little bit of time with me. I'm Roy Kammer. I'm the interim associate dean for the College of Allied Health and Nursing. I got to serve on our student government association after I went to college back as an undergraduate, so I really have an appreciation for what you do. So thank you. Just a little bit else about me. I started here at Minnesota State Mankato back in 2006. I was here through 2013. left for a while to be a dean at a small college and came back a few years ago to teach and thought I would probably teach till I retired. I love our students. I love this university. And earlier this year, I was asked to step into the interim associate dean role. For those of you who aren't familiar with the College of Allied Health and Nursing, we have 8 different departments or programs. We have dental education, we have speech, hearing, rehabilitation services, communication disorders. We have applied health science. Health science, that's where alcohol and drug studies is, which is my background, and I'll talk a little bit about that. We have recreation, parks, and leadership studies. We have nursing. We have human performance. We have social work. So we have a lot of different programs in our college. Part of my role as the Associate Dean is to also serve as our Director of Clinical Operations. As the College of Allied Health and Nursing, we've got a few different community-facing clinics. So we do have a dental hygiene clinic here on campus that goes with our dental education program. We have got we've got a speech hearing clinic. We have a small nursing clinic up at a school district in the cities called Health Commons at the Pond. We have probably the newest thing that maybe you've heard about is our Center for Rural Behavioral Health. We're starting a training clinic here right across campus that will be community facing as well. So lots of exciting things in the clinical space. Like I said, my background is as an alcohol and drug counselor and mental health counselor. That's what I did. Also alcohol, drug, violence prevention in a university setting. Taught in our alcohol and drug studies program here. Advised one of our student groups, SAID, Students for Alcohol and Drug Education. We did a lot of opioid overdose prevention trainings, distributing naloxone and so forth. That's just a little bit about me, a little bit about our college. This is my first time doing Dean of the Day, so if there is a formal thing I was supposed to do and I'm not, I apologize for that, but I'd just be happy to answer any questions about the college or anything you're curious about in general.
Any questions for Dean, Senator Buggy?
With your background, have you brought anything to the university to battle with the fentanyl epidemic we're currently in?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've spent a lot of time doing with our student groups has been doing opioid overdose training. So working with a number of different student groups to distribute naloxone. Naloxone is very effective. People have to know about it. People have to carry it for it to be effective. I would really love, just quite frankly, to have every university student carry naloxone. That would be my hope, my dream, my wish. One of my students and I did a small little research project this last year based on a prior training we'd done to look at retention of knowledge from the naloxone trainings, and also to ask simply if students still carried their naloxone several months later. And what we found overwhelmingly is yes, people do. Naloxone's not cheap, particularly the nasal kind. A lot of people don't like the thought of having to administer naloxone using a needle. They like the Narcan, that's the trade name, but they like off-brand just intranasal naloxone. You can spray it up someone's nose. It makes it pretty simple. Not cheap. There's a lot of grants to help get it, but people ask, wow, we're giving out a lot of naloxone. Do people keep it or does it end up in the garbage? And, for our students, I'm happy to say it's not ending up in the garbage. They're telling us they're still carrying it, which makes me really happy. They're being good stewards of the community and hoping that they can help people. So I'd love to see us do even more naloxone training, just to be very honest. So good question. Thank you.
Senator Moore.
Like now and historically, we've kind of had a problem with recruiting senators for allied health and nursing. Do you have any advice on maybe how we could be better with that or anything in that sort of realm?
Yeah, I got to meet with Senator Hart, who I don't not here on Zoom. Hello. So, who is going to attend our Allied Health and Nursing Student Advisory Committee. So I think we want to forge a better communication there. I was just sitting here thinking what I can do in terms of communication with our chairpersons and such like that, just to reiterate how important it is to have representation at Student Government Association. So I'm brainstorming, but if you've got some other ideas of how I can advocate, I'm happy to do that because, well, I'd love to have all of our seats filled. So it's important work you do.
Senator Zelmer.
You had spoke a little bit on the naloxone and Narcan.
Yeah.
Where is that available? So if there is an emergency situation in the dorms, where are students able to access that?
That is a great question, residents. Jody. Would you be willing to respond? Is it okay to invite Jody up? Come on up.
So my name is Jody Eglund. I'm the medical director of student health services on campus. And we provide all of our security staff with naloxone in their kits that they carry when they respond to an emergency on campus. We also have them available in our pharmacy that you can come in without having a visit with a provider and just have it prescribed to you that you can carry with you for yourself or for someone else. It's a program that we signed up for with the state health department here. We have
Cost for that?
it goes through your insurance. So based on your insurance, that is the cost, usually a copay, if anything. But you wouldn't have to have an office visit to get that. You just go to our pharmacists and ask them about the program. We also have it in our emergency kit in our clinic. So if anyone were to come into the clinic, it's most likely though not going to happen that way, and that's why our security are also trained. Questions?
Oh, can I add to that for just a moment? If you want other options for naloxone as well, there are some access points for naloxone in the community as well that distribute it for free without running it through insurance. So for instance, Beyond Brink, WeCovery is a recovery community organization. They have the Southern Minnesota Harm Reduction Team. And often if you come in and just are willing to partake in just a really brief training, they will provide it to you, you know, for no cost. And there's other access points throughout the Mankato community as well. So a lot of places to get it. And, you know, just the main point is it's great when people carry it. It's important to have a little bit of education because there can be temperature impacts. You know, it's not a type of thing where you want it sitting in your car over the winter in sub-zero temperatures and such like that. So if you ask why can't people just be handed out for free? Well, there's some training elements that often go along with it, which are really important. So
Senator Karki?
Thank you for being here. My question is about online students because your college is very popular with online students. So what are efforts that you are putting in to communicate effectively with them or be more connected with students that are joining online?
yeah, great question. So, you know, some of the things that we are articulating, just even from an instructor perspective, is, you know, from a regulatory perspective, we have to have regular and substantive communication with students. That's a requirement, right? So, trying to help people, instructors, anyone to understand what that means. It's not just to post materials and have people go for it, but it's really about that ongoing meaningful feedback and connection. That's what makes it education. With some of our larger online programs, as the programs have grown and as we've scaled, we've added more time for advising, if that makes any sense, people who are in those specific advising roles to ensure that there are people to connect with students to make them feel connected in the program and so forth. The reality is in some of the programs, they grow rather quickly, you know, once the word is out, and it's trying to keep scaling with that growth as quickly and as effectively as we can. Does that help out some?
Senator Zelmer.
Kind of a follow-up. So you had said that the security guards have access and have training with Narcan. Do our community advisors also have that training or access, as they're probably a closer person to go to in the dorms if there was something to happen?
Now I have to say, last I knew, the answer was no. We had invited them to some of our naloxone trainings, and I can't speak to the exact reason for that, other than I believe sometimes when you require people to be trained, there's an added level of liability and responsibility. Typically from a Narcan naloxone perspective, when you're talking about paraprofessional roles and so forth, it's typically a voluntary effort, if that makes any sense. So that's my best understanding, but I would defer to someone from residential life to speak definitively for that. So.
Questions? Seeing none, thank you for coming in today.
Well, thank you for having me. I think I get to come back later this year, so I'll be excited to see you. Thank you.
Alrighty. Are there any senator reports? Okay, seeing none vacancies, is there anyone here for the College of Allied Health and Nursing? Friends Life, College of Business, CSET, and then the other two are next week. Alrighty. And then we're moving into new business, there's no new business, moving into old business, there's no old business. So we'll move straight to announcements, any announcements? John.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm gonna pass around some party favors. I'll take the extras at the end. I apologize for my slight tardiness in getting here today, but I was wearing one of my other hats prior to this meeting, and that is as the role of the off-campus housing guy for the university. Each year I offer a series of sessions called Renting 101 info sessions. I started giving these sessions about 7 or 8 years ago as a result of a string of people coming to my office with the same problems over and over again that could have been addressed prior to them encountering those problems. And so I developed a session that I deliver called Renting 101 that talks about the housing search process, what it means to sign a lease, and some of the other things that are just buried underneath that people don't oftentimes think about when they're just getting into a housing arrangement. So those started today. The first one was at 3 o'clock today. The second one's at 9 o'clock tomorrow. There are ones on the 14th and the 15th of October as well. And so during that session, I've strategically timed them actually to take place during the time periods when there are the most first-year seminar classes offered. Anybody can benefit from these sessions, but the most likely candidates are the first-year students who, because we know between 90 and 95% of them live on campus their first year, and then 90 and 95% live off campus next year. So that's the great target audience for this session. So that's why I do it during mainly first-year seminar sections. I want to make you aware of those sessions so that you can share with your constituents that they're available. The card that we just went around, it has a QR code that goes to our off-campus housing website. Our off-campus housing website is a partnership with Off-Campus Partners, which is a part of apartments.com. So they help get properties to sign on to the website and become part of it. So on that website, you're going to find roommate posting opportunities. So if you are looking for roommates next semester or next year, you can post a roommate profile that says, here's what I'm looking for. Whether you've already got a place and you're just looking for people to join you, or if you're just looking to find a group of people to get together with and make roommate arrangements, you can do that on there. You also find housing listings that are opt-in for the off-campus housing providers. They pay apartments.com to be on that website. Okay. And that does generate a little bit of revenue for us, but so that website is not all inclusive of all housing. It's a paid program for those property managers to be a part of if they want to be a part of it. You'll also find people who are looking for subleasers. Okay. Subleasing is very, very common in this community. What does that mean? For those of you who don't live on campus, that means, or excuse me, who don't live off campus, that means that you may be, say for example, anybody in here graduating in December? Okay. Niti's graduating in December. If she's renting an apartment right now, she may be looking for somebody to sublease her apartment starting in January because she's not going to be there. Why is she trying to find somebody to sublease the apartment? Why doesn't the apartment complex do that? Because most of our property managers require a 12-month lease. Your options for a 6-month or 1 semester lease are very slim, if any, and they're hard to find. They don't publicize them, okay? So she might be looking for somebody to take over her lease starting in January, and if she's thinking she'd get on that right now and post it on that website, it's already done. Okay, there you go. So prime example. So that's what you'll find on the website, as well as some tips about living off campus and all of that. So when we get into winter time and I need to remind people not to park on the street during snow emergencies, or how to sign up for the alerts about snow emergencies and all that kind of stuff, that's on the website as well. So I want you to be aware of that website, the things that are on it, so that you can refer people to it with any questions that they may have. Also, if you would like to attend one of those Renting 101 info sessions, I encourage you to do so that you can see the content that we're delivering and sharing with people. Now, as we've acknowledged this year, there have been a spate of landlord-tenant issues. I don't get too much into the specifics of those during this session because I have 50 minutes to do it. I've got to deliver it during a class period. And so I do talk about the resources of the student attorney to ask for help and stuff like that. But that's about as far as I get into it. And I did acknowledge that we've seen more landlord-tenant issues lately. And so I want to make sure people are aware of some of the issues or the resources they can pursue to handle this. So, but again, if you would like to attend one of those, there is one tomorrow at 9 a.m. There is one on the 14th they're all in Ostrander Auditorium. And it is, I'm sorry. It is at, here we go. The 14th at 11 a.m. and then the 15th at 10 a.m. And so they're all in Ostrander Auditorium. They're open to anybody. I do have I had 54 people at this one I just delivered. And then the last one will be on November 6th at noon in Ostrander. That is also the same day as the Fall Housing Fair. So the property managers that opt in or that want to be a part of the housing fair will be on the Mav Ave area to talk about what they have available. So that's just a little bit about what's going on in the housing world. We do know that this semester, usually we tell people there's not a housing shortage in Mankato. This year was a little bit different because of some of the rooms being offline in the residence halls. To the best of my knowledge, we're not facing that issue with units being offline in the residence halls next year. But as our enrollment stays strong, we know that there's going to be strong demand for off-campus housing. Does it mean there's not going to be anything available? No. But it does mean that the search may be a little bit tighter. So please keep that in mind as you talk to people. And again, if there are any questions about the sessions or our resources, I'm happy to address those. So it's already been mentioned that there's a lot going on for homecoming. So I'm going to put on the student activities hat and just mention, come on out to the concerts tomorrow night. $5 student tickets are gone. You can still get a student ticket, but it's not the cheap $5 ticket. And then on Friday night is one of the best events of the year, period. Whether or not it was part of homecoming, lip sync is always a blast. So if you want to laugh, see some talent, all of the above, come out to that and then hit the bonfire up afterwards. So, and then join us for the parade as it'll be fun as well. So enjoy, have fun, and I will sit for questions.
Any questions for John? Right, thank you. Any other announcements? Senator Park?
There you go, Craig. Hi, everybody. I announced last week that we will be having a photo shoot and I did confirm all the details. So it's gonna be not the next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that. I think it's October 16th. We will be starting at 3:45 and hopefully we can finish that at 4 p.m. or we can go into a little bit of the Senate meeting, but we'll try to keep it short. And a little bit different from what I said last week, I do want all of you guys to be informals, all of us to be informals. Those photos will be updated on the websites, used for social media and all other outreach stuff. So I do request all of you to dress up for that day. Thank you. Again, it's October 16th from 3:45 to 4.
Any questions? Alrighty, seeing none. Senator Karki.
Thank you. I believe this has been mentioned in both of the committees today too, but just a reminder, we have guests coming in from Student Success for our next committee meeting. So please be sharp on time and we brainstormed some ideas, so keep brainstorming more on them and come with feedbacks, suggestions, and ideas to discuss during that time. Thank you.
Any questions? Was that a hand, John?
For announcement. Another announcement.
Okay. Any other announcements? John?
Thank you. I forgot two things. One, you may be wondering why there are sororities showing up to talk each week. The fraternity sorority life community is trying to be intentional with some outreach and form some relationships, but also inform people of what's going on in the community. And so there are going to be chapters coming several weeks throughout the course of the semester to give a little bit of update. You might also have somebody from our governing councils. You heard Haley mention PHC, the Panhellenic Council. There's also the Interfraternity Council. Those leaders will be coming in at some point as well to address you during open forum. So that's just a little heads up, I know there were some confused looks. Why did we have a sorority last week? Why do we have another one this week? That's kind of what they're doing. Also, I want to be honest, I didn't think that Todd was just going to get up and talk about his role with Campus Rec. I thought he was going to get up and issue the challenge and do a little bit of trash talking as we get ready to do usually about this time of year. Why do we try to do that? November 20th, folks, game on. It's going to be y'all and other students versus staff like Todd and myself playing kickball in the dome. Okay, we're gonna have a quick meeting here, and then we're gonna go play kickball over in the Maverick Sports Dome. Okay, so I'm giving you a little bit more notice than maybe Todd might have wanted to sneak up on you, so you don't have much time to practice. But the staff has a winning streak going on. Okay, so just issuing that challenge a little bit right now. So get ready, find your ringers, all that kind of stuff. It'll be fun on November 20th. In the spring, we'll do similar competitions with bowling and trivia. Okay, at the bowling and trivia events, there will be food and refreshments provided. I'm sorry to tell you, but for the kickball, because it's in the dome, there's no food and beverage in the dome. There won't be refreshments at that one. But for trivia and bowling, there will be, and we'll do that in the spring. So get ready, but it'll be fun. We will have an abbreviated agenda so that we can get over and play kickball on November 20th. So that being the last minute, or the last meeting right before the Thanksgiving holiday, nice little breather for you. So.
I do have a quick question.
Yes, Senator Emke.
Will any fraternities be coming in and speaking, or will it just be sororities?
They're working on the schedule, so it is highly likely that the fraternities will be coming in as well. The women just responded to the schedule quicker than the men did. Big shocker.
Any other questions?
If I can add on to that. I'll just add on to the question.
Okay, President Rolla.
There will be folks coming in from the Student Athletic Advisory Committee, from International Student Association. We have folks from other groups as well. We'll probably have our liaisons. We have library liaisons that I can think of off the top of my head, but they'll be coming in and talking with all of you either in committee meetings or in student government meetings as well.
VPJ.
To let you know a little bit more about kickball, it doesn't just have to be people on student government. It can be any student. If you want to recruit them to the student government team, any student on campus can be on the student government kickball team. So if you have friends that are very interested and are very good at kickball, please recruit them. Because we have to win this year. I am too competitive. Thank you.
We will win this year.
I will say if there's anyone who knows any of the soccer team players,
I know a guy who's right.
please let them know about this event. Thank you. Alrighty, are there any other announcements? Okay, seeing none, then we will go into roll call. Again, Senator Hart is on Zoom. Senator Franzen.
Here.
Senator Balogan. Senator Schwartzendruber.
Here.
Senator Emke.
Here.
Senator Conti. Senator Bugney. Senator Maega.
Here.
Senator Karki, that one we got. Senator Mpinga. Senator Diedrich.
Here.
Senator Emlyn. Senator Moore. Senator Maba. Yes. Senator Parrott. Senator Karki. Senator Riggle.
Here.
Senator Zelmer.
Here.
Senator Robertson. Senator Hillstead.
Here.
I'm here. President Rolla. VPJ.
Here.
Alrighty, we will adjourn at 4:49 p.m.
Remember, anyone that wants to help with senator decorating, go to Student Senate office.